Hey everybody, welcome to Forever a White Belt. I'm your host, Naughty Nate. Before we get started here, I'd like to invite everybody to check out the merch here on millions.co. We just got merch. Here's one of the shirts I'm wearing right here. So become Forever a White Belt, part of the clan and get your merchandise. Today I have with me three-time champion from the Street Beef Scrapyard, Malik Ogun. Welcome to the show, bro.
Hey, thanks for having me, Nate.
Hey, of course, man. How you been?
Man, I've been great, man. I've been great. Just working on some things and elevating and just staying focused, man. But I've been great. I've been good, enjoying life.
Good, bro. You look good. You look like hey, you're at work and everything. Man,
Oh
bro,
yeah.
I would hate to run into you as a security, bro. Shit. They
Right.
better not be acting up. I'll tell you what, they don't even
You,
know.
I tend to not have a lot of problems out here, man. But I'm glad I don't, man, because it can get ugly. But
Yeah.
I try to keep the peace.
Yeah, just show them a couple Street Beefs videos beforehand. Be like,
Right.
"You sure, bro? You sure you want to do this? You just want to leave?" Uh,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
I I did security myself for about a dozen years. I worked at hospitals. I did private security, and then primarily though I worked as a bouncer in nightclubs and strip clubs
Oh
and
wow.
stuff. So
That's when
like,
you grab them like this and just toss
oh
them out.
yeah, all that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where my fighting career ended up. But you're doing much better, bro. So before we get to all that though, let's hear a little bit of an origin story. Kind of like what got you into martial arts and what kind of led us to the scrapyard.
Well, I'm from Seattle, born and raised, man, and my first love was football. So that's the first thing that's what's really got me, I feel like molded me for what I'm doing now, physique wise, mentally. And I really loved it. So I was preparing, through high school and everything to go to college and do that. Um, I was at KM. Fast forward from Kim Meridian, and fast forward from that, I did a year of JUCO. It turned out, just my passion for that was kind of gone, not there as much. Um, and so, but I'm still, I want to be physical and use my talents. So fast forward from high school and JUCO, my brother, a long time he was saying I should do street beefs. I should box. Actually, he was saying, and he was saying, street beefs is out there, scrapyard is there, and it's an opportunity to go out there and showcase what I have. He knows I'm always in shape and my physique is always there, and I don't mind getting dirty. And so he actually suggested this for probably a couple years at least before I did it. And once I decided to do it, I just picked a month that I would do it. At the time was at the time I decided to do it, it's the summertime. My birthday was September. So I said, okay, I'm gonna train for the summer. And September come, I'll go ahead and sign up. And actually didn't do it September, I did October. And when it came to doing that, man, I started to go to LA Fitness and I would train there as much as I knew I could, as much as I could with the knowledge that I knew. And luckily enough, kind of just everything just lined up perfectly when it came to running into my coach. Shout out to Jermaine White. Um, and with that training preparation from the summer to fall, basically to September or October is when I actually fought. It was just a perfect setup and he got me right. And when I got into a scrapyard and did my first fight, it was a knockout, and it just seemed like everything lined up perfectly. So I should just stay with this formula, stay with this coach, and just keep at it from there. So that's kind of how I got into that's how I got into martial arts. This was or into boxing, right? And so this was 3 years ago, and about 3 years ago, and this is where we are now, man. And it's kind of crazy just how it all came together. Because I mean, I mentioned before, I think like I just ran into my coach at LA Fitness, um, doing what I can, and there was a handful of us. Up until this point, I'm the only one I stuck with it. There was probably about 5 to 10 of us that was trying, trying it out. Um, there was a couple guys from that group that actually fought on. street beefs, or one guy that fought on street beefs, and he won, and he
Mhm.
won, and he just but he decided it's not his thing or whatever. But I was the only one to stick with it, and it's just crazy. It's a blessing how it came together, because I mean I know I have my own personal talents and abilities, and I think it was just perfect to put together with coach and what he knows. And man, so when just having that connection right there is what part of what made me comfortable enough to keep on pursuing what I'm doing now. So
Yeah, it sounds like it was destined to happen, man. I mean, like you said, just by chance, you happen to run into a Jeremiah White, who is a former
uh,
pro himself.
Jermaine White, my bad.
Jermaine White,
Yep,
sorry, is a
yep,
former pro himself,
yep.
and a high level pro at that. I mean, you
Oh yeah,
guys train at some of the top gyms there in Seattle, and you just
yep.
happen to run into him at an LA Fitness, bro. Like that to me, I mean, that's destiny, you know. Like you can't make that shit up, and I'm glad that you guys found each other and you guys were able to kind of make that connection that sometimes isn't always there between a fighter and coach,
Right.
sometimes personality things like happen, get in the way, but you guys seem really close. Like I see you guys at the events. I know that
Hmm.
he's really looking out for you. I can see that. Just I'm a coach myself, and I can see like from coach to from another coach's standpoint, you're seeing that guy takes care of his fighters. He's looking out for them. He cares about them. He's putting in the effort, and he's investing in you. And I see on your end too, like you're stepping up to the occasion, man. Like you're out there, you're putting in the time. You're not disappointing him, and you're living up to those expectations. So, I mean, bro, I'm telling you, I'm excited to see how far this goes. Like not just me, but everybody over at the yard it has eyes on you.
Yeah,
Why don't you
man.
tell us a little bit about your first fight experience? Did you kind of Were you kind of anticipating the speed at which things were happening? What kind of walk us through the first time you stepping into the ring? What was that like for you?
Um, my first time stepping into the ring, that was my first time having any kind of matching or any kind of boxing match type of situation other than some of the sparring I did before. Um, Going into it, I was confident. Um, I was confident. I happened to fight someone who he was at. It was their first fight. They had zero experience, and it was my first fight, and I had zero experience. And I just prepared a lot more efficiently than my opponent. So I mean, it wasn't. I mean, I hate to say it was easy, but but I was prepared. I was
Yeah,
prepared.
you
So
were prepared. Yeah.
it wasn't overwhelming. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
this the first fight wasn't my most difficult. I'd say my second fight was a little bit more nerve wracking, a little bit more difficult against Showtime, who's a great fighter. Um, and I mean that fight actually had, because he was throwing a lot more punches and coming at me a
Mhm.
lot more, and I had a lot more pressure. I had to do a little bit more thinking. He was the aggressor throughout the fight until I caught him with a good shot. And but I mean, I think what I was receiving is what I was anticipating. You know what I mean? Coach, did well at getting us ready. We did a lot of sparring, for guys who were green. you know we did a lot of sparring, and along with coaches critiquing and teaching, it really helped, because a lot of guys at that level don't spar often.
Mhm.
That I'm realizing at these gyms around here, a lot of these coaches are scared to let their guys spar.
Mhm. Yeah,
so
and a lot of
so
them spar incorrectly as well,
right,
Like
right.
they're trying to kill each other in there every time.
Yeah,
Like how you
exactly.
gonna learn doing that?
Yeah, you should always
That's
be working on something, not just trying to win the sparring match. And and we had that good setup with our training routine and how coach allowed us to go about doing that. Um, and so, I mean, with that, it was like, I never was really super like overwhelmed when it came to coming into my matches.
mhm. And I mean, man, that gives you I think if you're a scrapyard competitor out there, someone looking to get into the scrapyard, I mean, you're seeing the value in training and having the right trainers around you, the right people around you. It just really elevates you from the get. Like you said, those kind of like early nerves people get going into those first time fights, sometimes that's a
Yeah.
bigger monster than the actual fight itself. And
Oh
sometimes
yeah.
that, yeah, that can destroy a fighter before he even steps in the ring. He's already gassed out, he's already traumatized and all that. So being
Yeah.
able to have, kind of that team around you and that experience from a
Hmm.
coach to kind of guide you through those that early process, I mean, that's vital, man. That right there is an advantage that
Oh yeah.
that you can't buy. What would you say separates some scrapyard fighters from your average, from the amateur circuit run?
Um, I would say probably the like the technical stuff, the kind of like the technical stuff, pretty much. I'm not gonna say the skill, but there's some stuff that I think some guys just don't really have the resources to actually learn and take in. I mean, obviously these guys in the amateurs, they train for a lot of the times they train for a lot of their lives. They're fighting a lot
Mhm.
of their lives, and they have experience, they have the skill, and they have the technique. Um, they're fast paced. I mean, they're more in shape in the amateurs, but but I mean that's just because they just kind of have more of a formal format of how to make it happen. Um, but a lot of guys, but the guys, that's not to take nothing away from the guys at the yard, because a lot of those guys too, they train as well, you know,
Mhm.
so they're not just straight up slouches. I mean, some people might just get off the couch, but I feel like I've never gone against anyone, and most of the people there, I feel like, are doing some kind of training,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
for sure.
So I mean, it's just a different kind of feel when you're in the ring with someone that's been doing it for a long time and they have over 100 amateur fights compared to someone who's like me, for example, who like, all right, well, I know I can't fight. I have good good enough teaching to know I can get in there and hold my own.
Mhm.
Um,
Enough
you know,
experience, yeah.
yeah, enough experience. So, I mean, but at the end of the day, you got a body in front of you. You got someone trying to take your head off at the same time. I mean, you know, it's still what they say. All work is good work. You know, I mean,
Mhm.
I'm sure there's some guys from the amateur level that can get in the ring with a guy from scrapyard, and they wouldn't be as successful as they might think they would be, as long as that guy
Yeah.
has enough. You know what I mean?
I
But there's
I
definitely some
agree.
guys in the yard that can get down. You know,
Mhm.
so yeah.
I agree with you 100% on that. And to your point, like fights are chaotic. It takes
Yeah.
that one mistake, and then you get
Mhm.
caught, and that could change the whole fight. What I like to tell my guys is all training does is minimize your mistakes that you're gonna make in
Oh
the in
yeah.
the chaos of the fight. And since fighting is chaotic, we train to organize that chaos. And
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean you still don't get burnt in there. You could be a technical fighter and just happen something to glance you the wrong way, and then all of a sudden it's lights out. That's just how
Right.
it goes. I mean, that's why fighting is so primal and it's pure, because anything can happen. So I find that
Mhm.
super exciting. I'm sure you can relate to that as well. Um, you're a three-time champion at Scrapyard. What does that mean to you, man?
Um, I mean, first, I mean, in my head, I mean, I feel like it's history. You can't take that away. It's always gonna be said. It's always gonna be there. Um, it means I'm honored to have that accolade. You know,
Mhm.
um, I could have came in the game and had nothing. I've never been a champion, and that would suck. But it feels good. It feels great to be able to say I am. You know what I mean? And it's like it shows it kind of tells you like where it's a good start to the career of where I'm going. You know what I mean? I say that because some people might look at it and be like, oh, that's nothing. You know what I mean? But like I said, it could have been. I could have not had it, but I earned it. So it is something, and I'm proud of it, and I'm honored to have that accolade.
Yeah, we're proud to have you, man. I mean, like I was saying to you prior to the show, there's a lot of young scrapyard competitors out there that look up to you, that are also trying to pave that are also trying to like do what you're doing, and you're over here
Yeah.
paving the way. You're showing them that it's possible. And sometimes that's like the little spark somebody needs to have that inspiration to push through and get them to that next level. They're like, well, if Malik was able to do it, maybe I can do it too. And
Yeah.
that right there is that's more inspiring than anything, I feel like. So your mark on the scrapyard, yeah, it's legendary now. You're one of the guys that started out there, and then now look at where you are now. Um, about to make your first pro debut, and
Yep.
correct me if I'm wrong. This is in Mexico? Is that correct?
Yep. In Veracruz, Mexico this time.
Wow, man, why
Yep.
Mexico?
We just got we got a good setup going on there. My coach, he has a connection with a promoter who was able to get me on the cards, get me on the shows there.
Mhm.
So taking advantage of it.
I love it, man. Have you ever been?
Yep. Never been out of the country, so this is gonna be my first time, and I'm looking forward to it. Um, it's gonna be an experience within itself. I don't have nothing too crazy planned, just going out there and
Mhm.
handle business, but this is gonna be an experience within itself. So it should be
Yeah.
fun. Have you been? Have you been there?
I've never been there. No, I've never been out the
No.
country either, man. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna live vicariously through you and your experience, of course.
Oh
So
yeah.
when you're down there, I know you're gonna handle business, but I hope you're able to, take in some sights and enjoy yourself too after you get that win over there. Sit back and kind of look around and enjoy the
Yeah.
scenery for a second.
Yeah.
How would you
Veracruz is on the beach, so I hope I'm gonna try to hit it up and see what's going on.
Oh man, you're gonna have a great time then there.
Oh
Just
yeah.
you be careful over there. Yeah, yeah.
Right, yeah.
That's it.
The promoter actually told us, he was like, yeah, like I said, go out there, just handle business, go to the fight, go to the hotel, go home.
That's
We'll kick it next time.
it.
We'll kick it next time.
Gotta
Yeah,
set some stuff up. I love it.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
how would you describe your fighting style?
Boxer puncher. I feel like
Mhm,
I can do everything that I should be doing as far as boxing. I can move, I can stand in the pocket. But at the end of the day, I just need one shot to take you out. So I'm really just waiting boxing you until I get that one shot. It's not like
mhm,
I'm brawling you or just throwing haymakers, even though it may seem that way from some of my history. But as time going on, I've developed to come to the point of being a boxer puncher. You know what I mean? So
mhm.
that's how I think my style is. I think I can do it, but I think I can do it all though.
Yeah, I mean, I highly
Yeah,
agree with you, man. You really do have that knockout power for sure. And I took some time and watched a few of your matches early on to your latest match, and your style definitely has changed. Everything's gotten a lot tighter. You're throwing combinations, and you're really setting up that power punch, which is
yeah,
vital, as you know. I mean, it really helps prolong your cardio when you can kind of monitor how much power you're throwing out at every punch. And for you, man, I
hmm
know everything's hard, everything's solid, but now you're really
yeah,
that right hand and that left hook, that's lights out if
hmm
you land that. I kind of described you just kind of in your movements and your punching power as like a smaller Mike Tyson type, like you really got that move, bob and weaving through that, which,
hmm
for your size, that bobbing and moving, getting past that length and that reach. I mean, that's
yeah,
essential, man. And you got that down. So you coming up, using your legs and throwing those huge haymakers. I mean, bro, that's a strategy in itself right there. And you working with your coach now and tightening all that up, like that's just next level stuff. So solid on the hands, really hard puncher. I really like that about you. I love your aggression. Like you're not as like you said, you're not scared to get in there and work the pocket, and that's exciting
yeah,
to me. I can appreciate technique. Don't get me wrong, I can, but I'm like any
yeah.
other fight fan, bro. I love it when guys just go toe to toe and want to swing, and
Right.
and that's exciting to me.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
what you in there for, right?
exactly. What
Yeah.
would you say? What part of your game, or would you say somebody may underestimate that they may be surprised about you?
Um, I would say the boxing part, the technical stuff, because it's easy to look at how I'm winning or look at how I'm fighting or I'm throwing hard shots. You think I'm just in there brawling and just just throwing shots as hard as I can and hoping I come up with something. But like you said, as time goes on, as time went on in my fights, I'm more trying to set things up and I'm trying to box. I'm actually trying to show you that I can box. So um, I think people underestimate that, and that's what I
Yeah,
really try to show people that I can do. You know what I mean? So yeah, the boxing part, footwork, people probably will never know, probably never mention that my footwork, getting in, getting out, my defense. I don't take a lot of shots.
you do not.
Um, so it's like my boxing part of things. People, I think the untrained eye would just say, "Oh, he's just a power guy," but in reality, I'm a quite a good boxer.
I would say so too, man. And like I said, that bobbing and weaving and like you mentioned, you really don't take a lot of damage, and
Yeah,
you hand out a ton. So that right
right.
there is gonna tilt the scales all day, man. Where do your goals in the pro scene? Let's say the next 1 to 5 years. What are we looking at?
Next 1 to 5 years. First off, I mean, I'm going pro, so I mean, it's just a business. I want to be well managed and be able to feed my family for generations. With some of the income that I'm receiving from that. And with that, you got to be a great fighter, you got to be a champion, and you got to be able to put on a great show. You know what I mean? So I definitely want to be a world champion. You know what I mean? Within the next year to I don't even want to say five. I want to say shorter than that. A year to three at the most. Be world champion and making good money and that's pretty much the sums it up. Be a champion, make some good money, have a good career,
Hmm.
come out with my brains, set my family up to be wealthy, and that's what I want to get from the game. I don't got nothing to prove to no one but myself, I guess, and I feel like I'm satisfied with how what I'm doing. I just don't want to. I just want to keep it going from there, and keep stepping up to the occasion.
Yes, sir. I love it, man. I mean, keep going, bro. That's all I
Yes,
can
sir.
say is keep going. I mean, hard times they come and they go, but consistency over everything and you'll get there, man. And that's
Yeah.
that's just that's really the true secret is what are you willing to sacrifice to get to that point? And you're one of the individuals that like there's no price, like I'm willing to take
Yeah.
do whatever it takes to get to that next level because you do have a purpose. Like you said, that generational wealth you're looking for. Take care. You have responsibility to your family, and you're taking
Hmm.
care of them, bro. So, uh, I know you take that into your training and with the intensity, and I'm glad that you're part of a gym that you have the right people around you because I think that that's highly important in this game too.
Yeah.
Is as you grow, everybody's gonna want something from you, but you're one of those guys that you believe in loyalty and you believe in. I mean, you come from the scrapyard, bro. We come from the dirt. So
Yeah.
to watch you come from that, see where you are now, I mean, those are the people you stand with, right? Like
Yep.
they brought you to the
Yep.
show, so I know you're one of the guys that's gonna leave with those people, and I think that that's right there is credit to your character.
Yeah.
Um, if you could you give us any kind of like memorable moments from the scrapyard? Maybe a match
Um.
or something?
Yeah. Um. I'd say, like I mentioned, uh, Scotty Showtime. Um, that was a memorable moment. Fighting him as well as Jimmy Fit. Um, in the scrapyard, because those are like anticipated fights people wanted to see. That
Mhm,
was and I came out on top, and it was just nice to have risen to those occasions, and the feeling of accomplishment behind those moments. At the time, Scotty was like had about 10 fights. He was my second fight, and I think at that time he had about at least nine, 10, maybe 11 fights, some more fights than I had. And he had experience, and and he's a great fighter. And people knew him, and so like I said, it was very anticipated. So that was a memorable moment for me to come out. would come out of that fight with the win. Especially the way that it happened. I think that video went viral. I think that's the video that went viral.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's at like maybe like 3 million views or something like that right now. Um, and I think it's like ratio wise, it's the highest viewed fight out of all the scrapyard fights. So I mean that's very a memorable moment to me. And it's the second fight. It was my second knockout, so it was like it really just like the first fight. It really made me confident. It really made me be like, okay, this is what I got. This is the one. This is what I need to keep doing. And same thing with the fight against Jimmy Fair, who's also a great fighter out of Cali. Um, he's you look at him and dude's like yoked and just stacked, and he's no slouch. And so it felt good. Also, in that fight, I was like really focused. I was like, I know I did what I trained to do. So that was really nice. That was a really nice feeling of accomplishment. And but I say those are my main two, as well as going to Arizona with the guys. That was my first like traveling situation,
Mhm.
and it was the fight was not to me not my favorite fight, but it was a nice little experience to be out there with the fam from the scrapyard. So I'll say those few moments were my number one moments I enjoy since I've been part of the team.
Hell yeah. And you left us with, many, many more. So even the
Yeah.
ones that, man, well, bro, I'm going to let you get back to work. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this interview with me. Prior to me letting you go, though, we got this match happening on May 31st, first pro debut. How can the people see it, bro?
Man, I wish I could give you an answer. I don't even know where it's gonna be streamed, how it's gonna be streamed. But I know I will have it recorded. I will have it. So I couldn't really say it, but I'll have the recording as long as you everyone keep in contact with me. Can you hear me?
Mhm.
We got this
Yeah,
noise in the
yeah. No,
background.
I can hear you. I can hear you. You're
All right.
okay.
As long as follow me, y'all can follow me on Instagram at Ogun Life 206, and I can keep anyone who's interested updated with when I'm able to have those fights able to stream or able to watch.
Love it. Are you on Facebook or any other social media sites?
I mostly utilize Instagram. I don't really post or go on Facebook often. I'm mostly on Instagram. That's what I'm most active on. Um, so that's where you have.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Any shout outs or anything you want to do to the coaches, the gym, sponsors, anything like that?
Yeah, shout out to Scrapyard first of all. You already know what it is. Shout out to my coach, Jermaine White. You guys want to come get some work and see what it's like to work with him and see what you might be able to learn. Come on up to my next shout out, which is Nomad Gym. Nomad is in Ballard and it's also in Skyway. I'm mostly at the one in Ballard. So if you ever want to come through and check it out, I think the first visitor tour is like free just so you can figure out what you want to do. Um, hit me up. That's so shout out to Nomad, shout out to Coach White, shout out to Scrapyard, and no sponsors yet, but hey, I'm open for anyone who's interested. So appreciate you guys.
100%. Guys, if you are a sponsor out there looking to sponsor a young fighter on his way up who's already making his pro debut, now's the time to get in early, guys. While
Yes,
you
sir.
can on the ground floor, while you can, because I guarantee, bro, once you start making that noise, I mean, you're gonna have offers coming at you left and right, and you're gonna have to turn some people away.
Right,
Like
right.
you're really on your way up. Yeah, just to second that, guys, if you're in the area, stop in there. If you have the privilege to get coached by Coach White, take the opportunity, guys. This is again, you can purchase a lot of things, but you can't purchase experience and that kind of knowledge, guys. So take the opportunity to do that. Look at already, the proof is in the pudding right here.
Yes, sir.
Started at the scrapyard, now making the pro debut all the way down to Mexico. Man, we're excited for it, bro. Again, thank you so much for taking the time to
Yep.
do this with me today. You have, I know it's sometimes words, they don't really mean much to some people, but I'm telling you, bro, you have tremendous support over here at the scrapyard. We're all rooting for you. Again, you're an inspiration, and we want the best for you, bro. Like honestly,
Hey,
truly, bro.
I appreciate you, Nate. Thanks for having me, man. We'll keep in touch for sure. I'm gonna be going out there every month. That's the plan. Every month, once a month, be going out there. So and we can just keep doing this, man, and check in and whatever, however you want to do it, man. And I
Yeah,
appreciate the love, and I appreciate the respect. I appreciate it all, man. So,
got you,
yeah,
bro.
we'll keep the ball rolling, man. Appreciate you.
All right, boss. You have a good day. I'll see you later.
You too, my man. Peace.
Bye.
And when I say I'm gonna do something, I do it. I don't give a damn what you think. I'm doing this for me. So the world feed it beans. It's gassed up. Everything's a